Ladies and gentlemen, whenever reparations come up among anybody from the Congressional Black Caucus, it always sends a radar up because there's a hidden agenda here. There's another attempt to exploit the Black community. It's another excuse to try to get everybody motivated to vote again because, Joe Biden, he killed all of that. There are a lot of people that are saying they're never voting for him again. And Cori Bush and Barbara Lee and some others from Congress are now coming up with some bill for reparations. And I don't believe this is going to go anywhere. I really don't. You know, Remember, next year is the presidential election. And this to me is just part of trying to get the base again that they know they lost in the Black community. I don't believe it's nothing more than that. Nah, not falling for it. So, Rep. Cori Bush introduces bill on reparations for Black Americans. Missouri Democratic Rep. Cori Bush has introduced new legislation calling for $14 trillion in reparations for Black Americans in an effort to see the federal government atone for the practice of chattel slavery and hundreds of years of racist policies that followed. The United States have a moral and legal obligation to provide reparations for the enslavement of Africans and its lasting harms on the lives of millions of Black people, Bush said in a Wednesday news conference attended by Reps. Barbara Lee of California, Jamal Bowman of New York, and as well as other stakeholders. They're just cashing in because reparations is such a hot topic in the country now. America must provide reparations if we desire a prosperous future for all, Bush says. Her resolution is on the latest in a long line of congressional efforts by Democrats to compensate Black Americans for centuries of racial iniquity. Similar language about reparations has been introduced every legislative session since 1989. We know that we continue to live under slavery vestiges. And we know that slavery has perpetuated Jim Crow. We know how slavery impacts lives on today. So she's just going over the basic things we have been hearing about: the wealth gap, voter suppression. She talks about infant mortality rates, negative health outcomes for Black people. Nothing that we haven't heard before. It's unjust, and it wouldn't happen in just in a just and fair and equitable society, she said. Those are not the natural consequences of human society. They are directly caused by our federal government's role in the enslavement and exploitation of Africans and Black people throughout our history. While the conversation around reparations has picked up traction in recent years, with about a dozen cities and the state of California considering reparations program, not the way Gavin Newsom has been talking, the concept remains broadly unpopular with Americans. Well, no, only one group in Americans and some foreigners. And, we can't worry about that. You keep moving on. You can't just, historically, we should have been stopped listening to these folks for real. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, um, about three quarters or more of white adults oppose reparations, and so do the majority of Latinos and Asians. Again, these folks did not experience American life like we did. So, no defense, but their opinions are invalid to me. Not unless you have suffered the same thing, then otherwise, I don't care what Latinos and Asians got to say. They did not experience Jim Crow in chattel slavery and Reconstruction and civil rights like we did. I don't want to hear from you. And if you're offended, oh well, life will go on. Black Americans overwhelmingly support the proposal, and young people in general are more likely to support cash payments to the descendants of enslaved people than their older counterparts. But more than 90% of Republicans say they oppose it. Oh, that's real shocking. That's earth shattering right there. While Democrats are split 50-50. They're both the same at the end of the day. When it comes down to racism and reparations and the things that impact us, that's one thing Democrats and Republicans are definitely on the same page on whether descendants should receive compensation. So, y'all, the way I see it, we need to keep moving on regardless to what's being said. And I'm glad that we have not cared what a lot of these folks have to say. And we have not let the issue die. And, that's the way we should move forward. I don't think we should stop talking about it. I think we need to keep it alive especially on social media, because social media is definitely stronger than mainstream news. Mainstream news, they need to catch up with the times because mainstream news in this country sounds like Jim Crow era. So, y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think about this. I'm not impressed. I don't think this is gonna go anywhere, and quite frankly, I don't think they want it to go anywhere. That's my feeling, and I'm not gonna change my mind. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.